Hey guys, welcome to Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. And thought we'd cook some dinner, right? And we're gonna do a quick dinner. As you guys may know, it's been really busy around here the last few weeks. It's always busy around here, but it's been a little extra busy in a good sort of way. We've been remodeling. You know, we're working downstairs in the basement. I still haven't shown you anything on a video yet. Hoping to get that out sometime. I promise, or at least some pictures or something. It's just been steady. I've just been steady working, you know, between shooting videos and doing things like that. But that's all right. It's still Wednesday. I'm still cooking dinner, and I love when you guys come over and cook with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hope you get something out of this video. Check out some of my other videos. That would be awesome. If you're returning, thank you. And glad you came back. If you are a new subscriber, awesome. Welcome to the neighborhood. If you are new, my channel is all about food pretty much, and I can relate anything to food. Whether it's car repair, you need to get to the grocery store, remodeling the basement, we're putting a kitchen down there, along with a living space and a dining room, all relate to food in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, and the main thing of my channel though is, you know, just to try to learn how to be a good neighbor through food conversation, right? Everything we cook, bake, none of it's like horribly healthy. It's all pretty much from scratch, but you know, it allows you something to cook that, like in this case tonight, is going to be quick and easy. And it gives you a chance to spend a little more time with your family or friends around the dinner table and have good conversation, to talk about your day. So that being said, anyhow, tonight we are doing that's what we're doing. Let me grab the recipe. It's a pork and peanut dragon noodles. My friend Rob Hughes, who has been like a huge source of recipes for me, sent me this one. And it came from a website called budgetbites.com, and this lady actually has some pretty solid, you know, recipes that are cheap and easy to make, that are also filling. You know, now we're about to find out about this one. He made it the other night and thought it was absolutely fantastic. This looks amazing, and I want to say her version didn't cost $10 and it fed 2 people. My version is going to be a little more because I'm feeding 4 people, and I added a couple of things to it, like some broccoli and yeah, just some broccoli, but I did double the recipe, so it might cost like maybe a total of $15, but we'll go through that as we go on this dish. It only has about 8 items in it. It looks like it's going to be packed full of flavor, and we'll find out. That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Yeah, all 3 of those, very important. Notification bell's right next to the subscribe button. Also, let you know when my videos come out. But all 3 of those are important. They get us out into other people's feeds, you know, and helps our community to grow bigger, grow stronger, you know, and that's awesome. That means we can share the love, you know, share some recipes. If you happen to have a Facebook account, you can check us out on Facebook, Mr. Smith's Kitchen's group. And there's no questions, or it's not a private club, anything like that. It's public. We can go hop on there, check out some recipes that we've, you know, posted. Other people have posted something you might want to post, pictures of food, anything food. Well, anything. We can talk about anything. The weather, if you want, as long as it's, you know, civil and adult-like. This channel does have all age groups involved, and I would hate to have to get rid of somebody because they're not being civil, or they're being mean, or they're being crude. That's just not what we're about here. So anyhow, that being said, let's get down to the countertop and see what all's in this dish and what all you'll need. Hold on for me 1 second. All right, we are down here at the counter with everything, pretty much everything we're going to need. Things you will need, equipment you will need a small bowl of some sort. You will need a pan. You will need a pot to boil water in. So I'm going to go ahead and get this water turned up, and we're going to start boiling it. And that's for our ramen noodles. This does have, that's our noodle, is ramen. And if you're like me and don't live in a bigger city and you can't get, you don't have an Asian store where you can go buy ramen noodles at, like what they consider good ramen noodles, which they are good ramen noodles. You can do like I did. I bought the cheap ramen noodle packs and got rid of the plastic it came in and the little seasoning pack. Well, you can save the little seasoning pack. That's essentially bouillon cube, just in powder form. Alright, so to start this dish, the first thing you're going to need is a recipe. I have a recipe. This recipe, on its base level, her recipe has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items in it. All 8 items with the exception of fancy ramen noodles, you should be able to get at any grocery store. You know, for that matter, almost even the dollar store. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make the dragon sauce that is in this. To make this, now I've doubled this recipe and I'm going to give it to you as doubled, but it's not, you know, if it's just 2 of you, you can single it, or I'm sure this would make great leftovers. I have in this bowl right here, I have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now she didn't say whether it was packed or not, so I just loosely packed. I'm sorry, it's a 1/2 cup of brown sugar because I doubled the recipe in here, and like I said, loosely packed. To this, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Chris says I say it wrong all the time, and I'm going to add that to it. And then here's one that I couldn't find exactly what she was looking for, but I did find something close. It was a chili garlic sauce, and I did find a chili sauce. It's an Asian chili sauce. You can't miss it. I know they had it at my local grocery store, and if they had it at my local grocery store, they have it everywhere. And we're going to add that into it, just like such. Whoa. And then we are going to whisk it together as soon as I go get a whisk. Alright, one whisk. And we just want to whisk this together. This is our dragon sauce. I have no idea how it tastes. It smells delightful though, I will tell you that already. Now that we got that together, while I'm whisking that together, I already got my pan on and it's warming up, so I'll go ahead and turn the heat up on that. Yeah, you want to get your pan warming up because we're going to heat up a pound of pork sausage. Or not pork sausage, but just pork, ground pork. I mean, I suppose if all you could get is like non-seasoned sausage, that would work too. But most grocery stores carry ground pork. And I guess it depends on your grocery store, depends on where it sits at. Because believe it or not, the ground pork in my grocery store wasn't with the rest of the pork products. It was over with the brats, which I found kind of odd. So we got that mixed up. We're just going to set it to the side. Her recipe said right now, as we start browning the pork, we should be cooking our noodles. But our noodles only take 3 minutes to cook, so I'm going to hold off on that. I'll explain why in a second. So the next thing we need to do is over here in our pan. Now, if you don't, I use nothing but cast iron to cook with as far as skillets go. And the main reason for that is twofold. A, this skillet will outlive me. They're not that hard to take care of. But non-stick skillets, the coating on them, even a good one, if you get them too hot, they will, the chemical they use to coat it with will come off. It'll come in and get in your food. It starts to become non-stick. It's not Teflon like it used to be, I don't believe, because you could see that coming off, and that was even worse. So I just go with cast iron. The most I'm going to get out of this is a little bit of iron in my diet, which is good. So let's get this browned up, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, so we got our pork cooked. We are good to go there. I'm telling you, this meal is just quick and easy. So, the next thing we need to add to this is our dragon sauce, right? We're gonna pour that in there. Oh, it smells so good. I'm here to tell you, I got a temporary cameraman. Ain't that cool? Got that in there, and then to this we're gonna add a half a cup of peanuts, and they're unsalted, just plain old boring peanuts. And then here's where I'm deviating from the recipe. I am going to add, the recipe calls for green onions, but what it doesn't call for is for me to chop up the onion pieces, the whites, and add it to it. But I just thought that sounded really good. And I'm also going to add some broccoli. You can use fresh broccoli. I'm using frozen because I didn't have time to cook my I have fresh broccoli. I just didn't have time to get it cooking ahead of time, and I didn't know how long it would take in this dish. So I just got some thawed frozen broccoli, and that way I know it's already cut up, no fuss, no muss. And I'm gonna put that in here, right? I had an open bag. Why not use it? It sounds good. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes, or until the sauce reduces by about half. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't look like there's enough sauce in here to reduce by half, but that's all right. We will get it worked up. This will give the broccoli a chance to warm up. I'm also gonna cover this, so that way I can get that broccoli good and steamed. But we just want to get it mixed up, and we're going to cook this for about 5-ish minutes. Until we reduce a little, thicken the sauce, and the broccoli is warmed up. Okay, so I didn't think about it while we're letting this cook, but the pot boiling, starting to boil, reminded me we need to get our ramen in there. Now, the ramen only takes 3 minutes to cook, which was why I was in no big hurry to get it, going as we were cooking up the sausage. So we'll go ahead and get, in this case, 4 packets of ramen. The original recipe called for 2, but we've doubled everything else, so I want to double the ramen in it. And now all we got to do is finish letting this cook. We'll let these boil for 3 minutes, and when we get back, we'll move on to the final steps before we try it. All right, hold on for me just one moment. It's done. We get it out of the water, we'll have mushy ramen. We don't want that. Yeah. Go ahead and get that off there. I'm just going to drain it in one of my strainers here. Get that going. Whew. That is a steam bath waiting to happen. Then we gotta check out our... I will say this about Asian dishes. For the most part, they move very quickly. Now, while we were waiting on the noodles to boil, I got to thinking, I would really bet this would taste good, because it smells fantastic, with a little bit of crushed red pepper. So I did add just a pinch of crushed red pepper to it. And the more I think about it, this would probably taste good with a not shredded chicken, but a ground chicken. Also, not just sausage, or even, maybe not quite hamburger, but a thin sliced steak. Yeah, but hamburger might work too if you get the right thing. So now we're going to take our noodles, dump them in there, just like such. And we're just going to mix this all together. And my sauce did reduce by half, and it actually created a pretty decent sauce. And I'm sure probably some of that had to do with the fact that I put the broccoli in there, and the broccoli was moist, so as it steamed, it created some moisture. Alright, we got that as mixed up as we could in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and take my bowl that I actually had the broccoli in, and we'll do a waste not, want not thing. Turn the heat off, and we're just going to pour this into that bowl. It's kind of like a recycle, reuse moment. And I'm going to manage to spill half of it on the counter. I'll tell you, if this isn't real life, you don't know what living is. Alright, there we are. There's that. Go ahead and get these a few pieces off the counter, and before you even ask, my counter's clean. This counter, which you're seeing my entire countertop, gets wiped down probably 30 times a day. That's no lie. I spend more time in this little 8x15 closet than I do any place else in the house, really, most days. All right, let me get this little bit of mess cleaned up. I'll show you what we made, and we'll serve it and serve us up a bowl and see how it tastes. All right, be right back. All right, so we got it all cleaned up a little bit. Last thing we're gonna do, and I mean this is optional, is I've got some green onion chopped up right here, sliced up, thin, chopped, and you just put it on the top for serving. All right, it's a garnish, and I suppose you would add it also just to give it some color, because without the broccoli, there's not a whole lot of green in there. It actually is kind of bland. But there's what we look like prior to, right? While it's still in the bowl. This is what I'll be taking to the dinner table here in just a couple minutes. But let's go ahead and get some plated up, so that way we can give it a try, because that's always good. I like to try things, and let you know how they taste. Although, it's still, even after over a year of doing this, I try every recipe that we make together, and I have yet really to have one that was just like, oh, this is horrible. But you don't know that, really. I mean, unless you try it, of course. If you try it, then you'll know for certain. But which then you would be like, oh, Brian, you're a liar, or you just have bad taste buds, or I have bad taste buds. Either way, I'm still going to garnish this. There we are there, and there we be plated up. I didn't put a lot in my bowl to start with. I'll just get more. I do it all the time. I get more into the same plate or bowl I use when we come time to eat, which will be here in like 5 minutes, and I don't want to. Oops, sorry. I tell you, this new camera thing is someday. Look how long it took me. It took me almost a year and a half to get used to eating or filming with my phone. Now I have something completely different to film with. But let's give it a try. Get some broccoli in there, some noodles, some onions, a little bit of the sausage. I'm really just excited to try this dragon sauce, because I did not try any of this prior to us. This is all shiny brand new. Let's give it a shot. That's really, really, really good. The chili sauce, with it being a sweet chili sauce, plus the brown sugar, gives a little bit of sweetness. With it being chilies, just a little bit of heat. Plus I put the crushed red pepper in there. Like I said, it was just a pinch. Just to kind of ensure. This rocks. I'll tell you another thing that would be good in this, which would be a kind of a complete contrast, but not really. Hold on for me 1 second. Pineapple. Pineapple would be amazing in that. Get like a can of chunk pineapple, toss that in there with it, and that would be quite a delicious dish. That is really good, and it doesn't take long. This would be an awesome weeknight meal. I mean, hands down. It took all of like 20 minutes to make. The hardest part was browning the hamburger. After that, the sausage. That took longer than anything else. That only took like maybe 10 minutes. So in like 15 to 20 minutes, you could have one heck of a meal, because I didn't have to. The only thing I cut up was the green onion. That was it. And that was for garnish. You didn't have to put the onion in it. The broccoli was already done for us. All we had to do was throw her in there and warm her up. So yeah, I mean, in about 20 minutes, you could have a good solid meal for 2, 4, 6, 12. I mean, whatever your heart desires, as big as your pan will fit at any rate. So try this. I think you'll like it. All right. And let me know if you do. hands down. Leave me a comment down below if you try it, or if you've tried this, or you have a version of your own. You know, I'd be curious to see if there's other versions out there. Or let me know on Facebook. Either way, you know how it goes. So that being said, tomorrow we are going to do cookies. We're going to do sugar cookies with icing on top, with a royal icing on top, which I think you'll thoroughly enjoy them. The cookies we've made before, the cookies I have made before, and they're a good cookie. I did a test run on them, and because it's a newer recipe, and I haven't made a sugar cookie, and I can't tell you how long, let alone one with icing. The ones we make during the holidays for cutouts is my grandmother's recipe, and I'm still even fairly new to that one, only because Chris was making them before. But here's what the nuance lays. I'm going to ice them. I have not made royal icing ever. That's always been something Chris does. That's her wheelhouse, is decorating. I can do some decorating, cakes, pies, things like that, but I'm not big on cookies, chocolate covered strawberries, things like that. She makes them look amazing. But we're gonna do them all the same, and fail or not, I think they're gonna be delicious. So anyhow, till tomorrow, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, and I never take it for granted. Tell somebody else you love them and that you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better. It's going to make you feel better to tell them. Make them some of this pork and peanut dragon noodle. I am here to tell you, they are going to know how much you appreciate them, and it's going to be a good conversation. You know, this is a good, solid family meal. Not too spicy, not too sweet, packed full of flavor. So till tomorrow for cookies, I love you. I'll see you then. Talk to you later. Bye.